items and agenda items which have been planned, and we are trying to ensure how we can have more global perspectives. And it is very encouraging to see that we are getting an request from Latin America to have the participation in this community of practice. And then we are trying to also see how we can encourage more global participation. Specifically, today's agenda will be focusing mostly onto the insights, how we can encourage private sector, specifically in terms of promoting our biopesticides and from the manufacturing side. So with this note, I welcome all of you specifically, and I request all the participants to use your chat box whenever it is possible to share your ideas, your thoughts, your suggestions, specifically how we can make it more effective. And with this small note, I would also request my colleague, Ms. Darshika, if she can start with the agenda items with a recap of the previous event, important recommendations which have come up across, and then followed by our structured plan, which is going approximately for an hour, with an ample of time to be provided to have a discussion among ourselves. Yeah, over to you, Darshika.
Thank you, Sammy. Greetings, everyone. So I will give you a quick recap to the last session. And so in the opening remarks in the last session, Dr. Rausch highlighted the growing interest in the biopesticides over recent years, noting many great opportunities and huge successes. He mentioned some of the research he has involved in that showed massive success, but also highlighted the challenges in pest control. For instance, he mentioned that the Pennsylvania faced an invasion by the spotted lanternfly, a pest from Asia. So while they observed a 50% reduction in one application under laboratory conditions, the approach failed massively when tested in the larger field. So challenges are there, and he also pointed out other challenges such as maintaining quality control in biopesticides and selection of target pests. He also mentioned the ongoing research efforts that are happening right now. Then Dr. Emma started the technical session. She introduced the CABI Bioprotection Portal, a digital tool designed to share scientific information and make it easier to access and adopt biopesticides. She explained why it was created and emphasizing the need for a reliable resource to help users to find registered biocontrol and biopesticide products for specific pests and crops. She also gave an overview of the portal's features and showed us how to use it. Then Dr. Malvika explained how to adopt and promote bioprotection portal at the ground level. She discussed strategies to increase its outreach and highlighted the countries and institutions that have already adopted the system. She also emphasized the importance of collecting feedback from users to continuously improve the portal. So additionally, she mentioned the challenges faced in utilizing the tool. So finally, Mr. Mizanur from the last session presented the fundamentals of biopesticides. He mainly talked about the current status of regulatory science and the main challenges such as lack of guidelines and regulation pathways. So he also highlighted a proposed tiered approach to evaluate the efficacy of biopesticide and explained how this approach can be systematically applied in the field. He pointed the challenges of these approaches as well. So that's a brief overview of the last session, and thank you for your attention. And Sammy, it's back to you, please.
Thank you, Darshika, for giving a quick recap. With this tone to set for today's event, I would request Dr. Richard Roche to share his opening remarks, and so that we come into the discussion mode with the technical presentation to be followed by Dr. Ansari and Dr. Ghosh. So over to you, Dr. Richard.
Thank you very much. That was a terrific summary of our last meeting. Thank you very much. It really got to the issues. I think this meeting has, I've been really looking forward to this one because it's critical that industry is involved in doing this work with biopesticides. They're in a better position to draw on resources to be able to raise funds. They're in a better position to invest heavily in quality control, which is a major part of efficiency of design and so forth. And I had recent firsthand experience with this at Penn State before I left, because we had Nina Jenkins, who was developing the biopesticide Apprehend for control of bed bugs, which were a huge and increasing problem in the United States and Europe, not just in hotels and so forth, but even in chicken farms in the eastern United States. So she did a tremendous job developing Bavaria bassiana, and closely targeting it by the method of application and so forth, so it could work well under some circumstances, particularly in homes and hotels. And it's become a huge industry in itself, Canidia under the name Canidia. So that's just a recent example of illustrates how important it was. This is work that spun off from the Department of Entomology at Penn State, spun off as a private company, was able to attract great investor support. Major pest control companies like Orkin and so forth started buying the product and investing further, and it's allowed the capacity of this idea to grow quite dramatically. So it just is one example that illustrates how important it is that we get industry involved in this. And I'm really looking forward to the presentations today to hear more about it. And I think it's great you are leading the world in this. I've been to South America with Ag Biotech, looking at how to get nuclear polyhedrosis viruses working in cropping systems there. So you're really on the mark in terms of key things that people across the world are going to need to do more of. So back to you, that I'm looking for the presentations.
Thank you, Dr. Roche. So with this, I would request Dr. Ravi to moderate with the technical presentations, which initially would be followed by Dr. Ansari. And I would request Dr. Ravi if you could help us with the moderation in these technical presentations.
Thank you, Sammy, and welcome everyone once again. And I see some familiar faces like Dr. Fahim and others who have joined, who were not there before. And our fraternity of this community is growing faster, as Sammy also mentioned. And we have a lot of requests from Latin America to make it at such a convenient time that they can also participate. That is something we will have to think about. Now, coming to the role of private sector, as Dr. Roche very rightly highlighted, we have two stalwart speakers from the private sector. They are real stalwarts, both of them. One is Dr. Minshad Ansari, and one is Dr. Swapan Ghosh. Let me first introduce Dr. Minshad Ansari, who is actually working with the BioNima Group Limited, which is a leading biocontrol technology developer and is utilizing naturally occurring microbes for crop protection and plant health management. Dr. Ansari is a visionary leader, and he is innovator in biological agriculture with over 25 years of rich experience on 3 Bs: biocontrol, biostimulant, and biofertilizers. With his PhD from Ghent University and a lot of accommodations to his background with large number of publications, he, as a founder and CEO of BioNima Group, he has driven groundbreaking advancement in sustainable agriculture, and including the development of industry-defining biopesticides like Nima Trident and Unispore, the biocompatible wetting agents such as Nima spreaders, and so on. There's a lot I can say about his contribution, but we are going to share his CV with all of you, along with the PowerPoints. So Dr. Ansari also founded the World Bioprotection Forum about 5 years back, and which is a global platform connecting over 250 members from 50 countries to foster collaboration between academia and industry. He is the right person to see how we can have a public-private partnership in this area. Through his vision and dedication to advancing sustainable agriculture, he continues to shape the future of biocontrol industry setting new standards and inspiring innovation worldwide leader. He is a leader from the private sector who has a lot to contribute, who has done a lot for the public sector. With these few words, may I request Dr. Ansari to please make his presentation and kindly make sure that you have 15 minutes for presentation. Dr. Ansari, over to you. Are you on mute?
No, I'm just trying to share the slides.
Okay, sorry.
Something happened. I can see myself. Where is all that?
We can see your presentation.
Oh, you can see that.
Yes.
Yeah, we all can see.
But I can't. Okay, let me see where it's gone. Okay, here is that.
Maybe
Oh, great.
many windows are
Yeah.
open, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, thank you very much for asking to present this one. I'm always interested to get part in this kind of activities, and thanks to Richard for setting the scene. And Dr. Rabi is actually doing a great job for the Asia Pacific, which is very, I would say, the not meeting the milestone set by the biocontrol industry. Most of the activity is taking place in the US, Canada, and Latin, but South of Asian countries are probably in the catching up. I think the title is very vast, I would say. The catching all those probably will be difficult, but I will try. I'm going to sit there here 15 minutes. I will try to see if I can catch everything in that time. So role of a biopesticide manufacturer and promotion. So the two things I can see here, one is the role, another one is a promotion, which is the lead to the adoption. So if some of you are not aware, my name is Dr. Minshad Ansari, CEO and founder of BioNema. I have more than 25 years experience in the sector. And recently we won the King's Award for Innovation, which is one of the top award in the UK, recognizing innovation in the sector. And other thing, Dr. Rabi has already outlined and nicely. So briefly, I started after struggling my 15 years of academia, jumping in the business without knowing anything. And I paid the price for 5 years. So the company started in 2012, but things start materializing 2017. So you see that 5 years was just like juggling balls, learning those things. And I might have to write a book in some time, the later part of my life. It has been very difficult, but at the same time rewarding as well. Inspiring, rewarding, all those kind of things. That's another thing to talk. The mission is very simple, is to reducing the reliance on chemical and fertilizer. We don't want to eliminate, but we want to reduce the reliance, because crop protection is a vital part of the food society. There are a number of ways how biopesticide industry can do. And one thing we are doing is that formulating microbials in encapsulation. This is a very advanced stage way to formulate and deliver them on target precisely and safely, increasing the more than 35% efficacy. More than 60 products in the pipeline. I'm not going to describe all. They're falling from TRL 4 to 9. And as Rabi outlined, we are a technology developer. So we simply develop a technology and we hand over to our partners. The one business model is very clearly defined. And one of the milestones was achieved 5 years after raising first investments, and then acquired 3 of our technology in 2021. There is a lot of merger and acquisitions going on, and I think it's not technical presentation today. I'm going to give you a helicopter view. So forgive me if you are expecting something different, because the nature of my talk is more about overview of the biopesticide. So I'm going to briefly discuss about introduction, future trends in the market, which is going to excite everyone, why we want to be as a part of the biopesticide. Role of manufacturer, briefly touching who is doing what, in a global stage, not Asia Pacific or Europe or any particular area. And promotion and acceptance, if I have time, I will do that. But this is the area where we are failing actually, and we need to do more work. So today it's agricultural biologicals. We are talking about 4 different segments: biopesticide, which is very much known as a biocontrol as well. EU has now accepted the terminology biocontrol. So probably this is going to be known now. So please, if I'm saying biocontrol, which means a biopesticide, microbials, biostimulants, biofertilizer, all are there, and I'm sure you all are very much aware. Now, I want to focus more on a biopesticide today, and the left side is a microbial section, which do not need registration, involve predators, parasitoids, and nematodes, and our company was pioneer in nematodes as well. So this is a beautiful way of bringing product in the market, but what they need, more pampering, storage, application, all those kind of things needed. When we look for the 3 different section in the right side, they need to go through a rigorous regulatory process. And just give you a ballpark figure is that if you are registering in Europe, it's going to cost you at least 5 to 10 million for one product, and 6 to 7 years. So it's a stumble block, is very much elephant in the room at the moment. If I give you facts and figure, you will simply laugh at what EU is doing at the moment. There is only one metarhizium product in the market. It's a shame for whole industry, that how industry is doing, and how regulators are basically trying to stop us not coming in the industry. Now, because of the future trend is very exciting for everyone, for investor, for consumer, for manufacturer, and we have seen a lot of acquisition by multinationals, and I will show you some of the figures. And we also have seen that emerging market like LATAM is booming, and now Brazil is one of the fast growing countries because of the changing the regulation. So today, the Brazil, if you want to submit a dossier, you will get that approval in 12 months time, but provided that you have all the data. So that's a serious change happen. Whereas this is not happening in other part of the world. Market growth in Asia. So I have seen a lot of high value crops are now landing in Europe, which also suggests that some of the Asian countries are growing those fruits, high value, we call them fruits and vegetable. Then it comes to some of the landscape, how the market research done by the independent bodies. And you see there is a 6 research data presented here. This is a bit of old, but if you look into the forecast one, 25, 27, 27, you will see somewhere 8 to 10 billion market is going to be this or next year. But the forecast is to grow 13.6 billion by 2028. So it's basically encouraging for all the private sector to tap in and basically come and do the business. This is a more broader picture I want to present here. I have seen that people are mistaken. They don't see where the biopesticide are, but it's crystal clear. So the biopesticide is not everywhere. This landscape is showing that 71% market is only North America and Europe. And those are basically very much the North America is leading player. In terms of this value, 4.8 billion USD compared to the South America, rest of the world, and Asia Pacific is only 28.4. So if you ask me, are you going to do business in Asia Pacific? My answer will be no. Because of the investor are more about where you are going to make money. It might be 10 years later, we can say that, yes, we are going to do a business in Asia Pacific, but not now. If you sell a product here, you will get about £1,000 per hectare. But if you sell in India or Asia, you have to sell that product for 10, maybe 100 hectares. So I think there is a lot of things are there why multinationals are not moving to those areas. But because of the growth, I'm sure that in next 10, 20 years, things will change. Now, this is a very recent research presented by the Kentech, and they interview 100,000 farmers, 29 different countries. They come to the conclusion is that top 10 countries and where the Brazil was the first, 850 million USD, followed by the US, France, Italy, Germany, and other. Then they did the crop, which crop was more where the biopesticide was used, and they found that soybean, corn, vine, trees, and you see that some of them are very high value crop. So that's where the market is moving. Not wheat, not barley, not potato, not these. Just forget about. Biologicals are not designed for that one. If somebody is promising, they are lying. It's not going to work at all. It's not sustainable. So I'm very crystal clear here. 80% biopesticide is only designed for high value crop. Things will change, but only once we start producing them cheaply, once we start producing them in developing countries where labors and cost are cheap, but not in Europe, not in North America. Now, the third one, components, obviously, you know that insecticide segment within biopesticide is always being highest because of the BT. There are 50 years of credit in the market. But interesting to know that bionematicide is coming now in the second position. Before it was a biofungicides, and bioherbicide obviously is very poor. And again, not many people got. So for academic point of view, we'll be looking that if there are any research coming from academia, we will be happy to exploit that one. We will be happy to looking that can we exploit those idea in commercialization. So we always open to those area not exploited. Now, this is the second area of my talk is that who are involved actually. So if you see the helicopter view, you will find that 20 to 30 companies are leading. They are in international footprint. All other companies are very much the distributor or they're in lower scale, 1 million, 2 million market they're making. But this is the company, those have been quoted hundreds of at least market research companies, the data are there, they're presenting their annual turnover, they're putting the things which need to be known, the people can see what is happening. And I'm proud to say that Bionema is already there. And two more company for India, IPL Biologicals and SOM Phytopharma. So it seems that some of the companies are doing good as well. Now, this is the 5 big boys, Bayer, Syngenta, Corteva, FMC. Look at their figures. Current bio-based revenue. Bayer generated 215 million in 2022. Syngenta 400 million in 2023. Corteva 420. FMC is following, and UPL actually is coming very fast now. Their branch NPP is now going like wild. If you look at what their forecast is, it's a 10 to 15 times. That's where the market is moving. More interesting, look at their R&D expenditure, 2.5 billion. Bayer want to spend or expended by 2023, Syngenta 1.4 billion, Corteva 1.35. So where they're spending, this is a very vital question. They're not spending in their laboratory. Look at the last figures. Partnership with the investment and acquisition. Those companies, that's where biopesticides are falling, like company like me, any others, because we will never bring our product to the market. We will never sell our product against these boys. These big boys are in the market, and we will not achieve what they are achieving. They have a machinery, they have an arsenal to sell the product in the market. But we have a great opportunity to bring those technology and basically hand over or have a partnership with them. So being a two-pronged approach here, rather than just trying to do everything, which means you won't be going to succeed. And that's where the Bionema is very much, is that we don't want to become a selling company. You want a company who basically bring a super duper technology. Why? Because these boys are not doing any R&D. Believe me, they are not doing any R&D. They're just relying on the company. So we have an opportunity to do a lot of research. Now, this is a top 10 biological company where the investment made. Some of you already know that when the investment started, there's a series A, B, C, D. Look at the Pivot Bio. They are more in plant health sector, but part of the agricultural, 430 million. These are the investment is coming to our industry. This is a very fraction I'm showing you here, but there is a lot of other area where investment has been done. These data left one is showing the merger and acquisition took place from 2012 until 2024. This is again the fraction. And the right side, I presented data in 2022. I think it was published in a journal where I put down some of the data. Some of the figures you will see there is a numbers is not there, which means that value was not in the public, but some of the value was in the public. Altogether, previous one and this one, if you put together, you are looking for more than 25 billion actually gone to this sector in last 10 years. So which is a huge number, and more is going to come as well. This is another interesting story. Some of maybe you know, Mixing Bowl Hub is an organization in US. They are working with Western Grower Association, and they actually organize a conference. They test companies' products, and once products perform well, then these growers start using, or at least the way to speed for registration. The 2024 biocontrol landscape includes 300 companies that deliver biocontrol products that target insect and mites, disease, weeds, and nematode. Look at the first top, insect and mites, where the products are semi-chemicals, botanicals, biochemicals. In middle, you have a weed, bioherbicides, and the disease one in the bottom one. The round circle is the companies, those are falling in all categories. Right side, you will see the Bionema is there, which is mentioned about microbial. So it's glad that some of the companies we can see. I'm not saying that these are the only company. These number is going to increase. If anyone wants to have notice that their company should be there, they can contact them, and I'm sure they will include. So this number is going to increase, but it's very interesting to see that a landscape. The companies are not only involved in one sector, but they're going to involve in the biocontrol, biofertilizer, biostimulants, and every area. Now, this is the challenges. The third part of the conference, I think I have finished 15 minutes, but let me 1 minute. So this challenge faced the industry. Total number of active ingredient registered by EPA by 2020 was only 185, compared to the EU, 142. I wanted to compare 3 large countries like India, Brazil, and look at there. Obviously, the China is doing good. They have a good number, and Brazil is actually the super duper. But number of active ingredients are still better than India. India has only 26 active ingredient registered so far. The reason is that Me Too registration, which is killing the innovation. I'm totally against Me Too registration. I campaign for this. We have a regulatory reform here in the UK as well. And look at their fungi registration, bacteria. But if you see the Indian market, you'll find thousands of products are there. Where those products are coming from when we only have a 26 active ingredient registered. So these are some of the things very frightening, and we need to look at that. Again, this is just chart showing you fungi, bacteria, botanicals, virus, semi-chemicals. Altogether, US is coming on the top league, followed by the EU, Brazil, UK, Canada, China, Australia, New Zealand, and India is on the 9th place. Now, I don't have time now. I have already exceeded 1.3 minutes. Promotion by the biopesticide. I will say only one. Only few companies are actually actively involved. Coppert, Biobased, Bionema, Syngenta. They have a training program which actually try to explain farmers and growers how to use those products. But if I have opportunity, I will present this one is later on. This is the area where industry has to work. This is the area, without this, the industry is not going to move. A lot of farmers and growers, even the UK, they are not fully aware of the biopesticide. So thank you very much for this opportunity, but I'm sorry, I have gone 2 minutes extra.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ansari. It was really very, very interesting, very rich talk. And I sincerely appreciate and applaud your presentation. And the key message we get from your thing is the present status of where private companies are, what they are doing, what is the market, and how, in general, it is being focused on the high-value crops, especially in Europe and North America. These were some of the key messages we got. But the most important message for me personally, or maybe for many entrepreneurs, is the 5 years of juggling for you from 2012 to 17. And for that matter, I would just say here, we would write you separately to write a success story. Success story has a lot of issues behind, we all know it. And APAARI publishes success stories of such entrepreneurs from time to time. We'll be happy to showcase from our platform at a global level. Now, I will just open it for discussion very quickly, though I myself have few questions, but maybe we can have next time. The talk of Dr. Ansari is open for discussion. Anyone who has any question, we can just raise hand.
Come on, very quick. I'm here to answer some of your questions. It's more about the discussion. We might have a roundtable in the future, but
I see a question.
yeah.
Sorry, Dr. Ansari, I see a question from Dr. Firas from Arinina, which is in Jordan, and
Wow.
he is representing the Jordan Executive Secretary, Rida Shibil, a good friend of ours. Yeah, Professor Firas, over to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Can I talk for 2 minutes or too long?
Maybe 1 minute, if it is pertaining to Dr. Ansari's talk.
Okay, good day, everyone. What I'm looking for, I'm so happy to have this topic because this is my area of interest. Really, we are so happy to have such a work in biopesticide as alternative of synthetic pesticides. And more effort should be paid for this topic or using of biopesticides in agricultural product in order to reach to food safety globally. A main point to be mentioned that it's so important for us all to take the global climate change and its side effects on biopesticides, whether plant extract or entomopathogenic fungi, bacteria, viruses, and also plant extract, because all hundreds of studies worldwide stated that all of these integrated pest management approach or tactics will be soon changed under global warming. Then it's so important for us, whether in private sector or governmental sectors, to take care about this point. All of integrated pest management will be changed, and it might be that will be ineffective. It would be highly appreciated from the private sector to pay more attention to take into account that in the coming years or nowadays and in the coming years to take, for example, increased temperature into considerations once they develop any type of biopesticides. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Dr. Ansari, you can react to his comments.
I think I can understand, Professor, the concern. I think the biopesticide, as I said in the beginning, agricultural biologicals. We are not talking about just biopesticide. Biopesticide is one segment. Concern to climate change, we have already seen that there are beautiful bacteria. Those are basically coming and they will do a number of work. For example, drought tolerance. Yeah, they can work in high temperature. They can work in the low temperature. All we are not seeing, a lot of research, all we are not seeing that more and more companies are going to commercialize. The focus is more central on biopesticide. I will tell you today the 80% focus. As a business, you will not find a company exercising or investing more in an area. Those are not going to make money. Investors are very clear about where they're going to invest the money. So all these things those are related to climate change. I think the scientists involved, we are basically working as a bio-based fertilizer. We have tested in Saudi Arabia, we have tested in Egypt, and those results are quite good. So I think there are, as I mentioned, there are 30, 40 companies are basically very much actively involved in that, and they are thinking about, but this need more broader aspect of the thinking.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I just have a query. Dr. Ansari, you showed a kind of a biocontrol landscape with, I think, about 300 companies listed. I just want to know how many of them are in Australia? Because last time we had a very good presentation was from one Dr. Miss Rahman, I think, who has joined this call. I'm curious to know. I'm also in Australia right now. I'm in Melbourne. And I'm keen to know because we are looking for collaborations.
In general, I have been talking with a few of them, but not a lot. So, and also you will find the multinationals are everywhere. But if you're talking about a company, those are like inventing the technology or coming in the market, very few. Then the number one, probably the reason is that Australia climate and cropping system is completely different. There are some high value crop there as well. That's number one. Number two, they still have a lot of issue on their biosecurity. So the registration is not easy. It's still taking long time.
Yeah.
But there are multiple things, and I can provide you at least 10 companies. Those are actually involved in Australia as well.
Thank you. I think we'll get back to you on that.
Yes.
Very quickly, Subrata, you have a question? Very quickly, go.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and good afternoon to all of you. Sir, one of my question that is mostly large multinational companies like Bayer, Syngenta, and FMC. They are making huge activities in biopesticides in the Northern America and Europe. But in Bangladesh, like Syngenta containing 1/3 of pesticide industry market, but even they don't business with any single number of biopesticides item here. So this is very strange.
That's fine. Did you hear?
Yes.
I told you it's all the business decision. I was in Bangladesh last year. I visited. I had a meeting with some ministers and other as well. And at the end of the meeting, board decided that the Bangladesh is a good market, but it's not mature enough to take off the biopesticide. We also discussed that let's have a training program or a roundtable discussion in Bangladesh after the election. So look here, the Bangladesh, I mean, this is something I will tell you one example. If I have to sell 1 hectare, I will get £1,000 here. How many hectares I have to sell in Bangladesh to get £1,000? So it's all about a decision. Yes, you can say, no, Dr. Ansari, we have a large number. Yes, that's a large number, but there's a lot of work as well. So the company, those you mentioned, FMC and other, they're concentrating the high value region, high value crop, high value technology. FMC recently invested 25 million in Agrosphere, a company who is doing a microencapsulation technology to encapsulate RNI to tackle one pest. But one pest, the value they have is 5 billion globally. So there are a lot of things basically why they're not going there.
Thank you, Dr. Ansari. There are a lot of more questions coming. Ahsanullah, if you can have a question in 10 seconds, because we have to move to next speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Ansari. I just wanted to know that Russell IPM from England, they're doing business in Bangladesh and they have producing and marketing biopesticide. What is the status of their
I can't comment any individual, but I did mention that there are 20 to 25 global companies, but there are hundreds of companies. Those are operating 1 to 10 million. So 1 to 10 million companies is not on high radar at the moment. And those you can do, anybody else can do. Now, going through a proper registration is the way to move forward. And that's where basically we are campaigning for regulatory reform here in the UK itself. So those are individual things. It's a different basically area. We don't want to comment that.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for the question. And thank you, Dr. Ansari. I'm sorry we may not be able to take more questions, but we will like to have you again on this COP to speak on the what next for the private manufacturers or private producers of biopesticide. Because in your last slide, you tried to
Yes.
speak, but you stopped yourself. I could see you getting choked a bit. But we will have a complete presentation on what next for the private sector in the coming next 1 or 2 months. We'll be in touch with you. But my sincere thanks for your very excellent presentation. Very
My pleasure.
informative. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And-
Thank you very much.
Thanks. So friends, we may probably extend the time of this COP by 10 to 15 minutes, if you all agree to kindly bear with us, because we have another stalwart speaker, Dr. Sapan Ghosh, whom I happen to know for the last couple of years. He is actually a trained entomologist by background, and he has more than 2 decades experience of implementing skills and learning in the field of plant protection, specifically on IPM and biocontrol. Dr. Ghosh actually has directed his passion towards finding an alternate to chemical pesticides in the field of crop protection and making it available to the farmers. Making available to the farmer is a very important point here, which has given him immense opportunity to use his expertise in product designing, developing innovative formulation and delivery system of a number of such bio-based commercial products. Apart from being a hardcore R&D scientist in bioindustry, he has also gained sound exposure in extension and creating awareness of new technology through plant clinics and farmers' field school. He has guided a number of PhD students. He has more than 80 research publications, and he has worked in collaboration with global projects of IPM-IL, FAO for the development of agricultural and biological sciences. Presently, Dr. Ghosh, with a good blend of research and development background, he is leading a team of R&D scientists at multiplex R&D unit to strengthen agri-bio business by identifying the gap challenges and developing viable solutions. Over to you, Dr. Sapan Ghosh.
Thank you, sir. I'll just share my screen. Yes,
Yeah, it's visible.
I hope my screen is very visible.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, and warm welcome for today's session. First, I want to extend my sincere gratitude to APAARI, whole APAARI team, and specifically Dr. Ravi sir, for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts on such important topics to strengthen biopesticides in community of practices, where biopesticide industry is definitely going to play a significant role in near future. Coming to my dear friend, Mr. Ansari, Dr. Ansari has already given world view, and probably some way it is bit confusing to understand where biopesticide is moving with only 15% growth rate, and what actually the industry is suffering in a core level. So I will be trying to take you towards that direction of a country level and a industry level, how the industry day-to-day activities they are struggling to strengthen in this technology.
Dr. Ghosh, can you put your PowerPoint on slide mode?
Sir, it is in slide mode.
Okay. I have problem maybe on my laptop. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
As an industry, what we understand the biopesticide is a type of bioprotectant having both living and non-living entity. And in living, that is the macrobials and macrobials. In macrobials, it is coming different natural enemies, that Trichogramma, Chrysopala, like different predatory mites. These are different natural enemies, which is getting in different way commercialized. And microbials, what we understand, the living sources from plants, bacteria, fungus, virus, protozoa, yeast, and there are non-living natural nature-based substances like minerals, organic acids, organic salts, different metabolites, semiochemicals, and pheromones. As we know, the growing awareness of food and environmental safety has made a demand of the good agricultural practices, and which consequently has made a demand of biopesticides. Now, coming in Indian scenario, I will be concentrating towards the growth of Indian biopesticide scenario. And the way back 1984, the commercial venture has been started in India with natural enemies like Trichogramma, Chrysoparla, ladybird beetle. But this business continued maximum 20 years, and after that, due to some mismatch between production, demand, and supply, this whole natural enemies business has come down, could not develop a sound business model. And that's why slowly the attention has been shifted towards microbials. Now, if you see at the present condition in India, there are 361 biocontrol laboratories or units are promoting the biopesticides, and there are both, it's a joint venture of both private and public sector. Out of 361 total, we can see that 171 private sector in India are actively involved in manufacturing and promoting biopesticides. Coming to the total coverage of biologicals in India, the total land, 207 million hectare under cultivated land, and under that only 7.53% land under usage of biologicals exclusively, and 10.25% in combination of biological and chemicals, whereas the chemical usage is still 52.14%. This is the recent data. Coming to biopesticide uses, till it has been already around 12,000 metric ton has been already usage, and projected almost 13,000 metric ton. Out of that, the fungal biogens 67%, bacterial 28%, viral has slowly come down into 2%, and biochemical and pheromones are 3% contribution has been made. Now, coming to fungal and bacterial, in fungal, trichoderma share is almost 56%, followed by Beauveria 17%, Verticillium 15%, Metarhizium, and bent other fungus. And coming to bacterial biopesticides, Pseudomonas is leading almost 69%, whereas Bacillus,
we cannot see your full screen. There are 3 dots over there. If you can press one of those dots, you'll come to the presenter mode. Yes, over there on the screen. If you could please try. We are not able to see your full screen. Sorry, Dr. Khetrapal.
No. I think you snatched my works. I didn't feel like disturbing you.
Sure. No, because many people are commenting. So I just thought, let me voice.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also initiated that, but I kept quiet. Yeah.
You should go to, no, you should go to hide presenter view. Yes, that's right.
Yes. Thank you.
Right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Malvika also.
So, coming to biopesticide market scenario, which my friend already has been shared, that the total 15.9% growth rate has been projected 24 to 2031, and Asia Pacific has been anticipated to the fastest growing biopesticide market from 2022 to 2026. Coming to Indian scenario, what has been projected? The 9.78% from 2024 to 29, and it was 2017 to 2024, 3.7%, which India has already achieved almost 4.7%. Now, to establish this, that how the industry is day to day, they are struggling to establish this business and sharing this growth rate. So I will be taking help of an industry, how they're struggling. And that is where I'm working. It is a multiplex. It's a group of 10 companies involved in agricultural development from last 5 decades. Next month, they are going to celebrate their Golden Jubilee celebration, and they are dedicated in R&D, production, promotion of agri inputs to enhance the crop productivity. And then there are more than 300 products in their product basket, starting from micronutrients, chemical fertilizer, chemical pesticide, organic manure, plant growth promoter, biostimulant, biofertilizer, biopesticide, biochemicals, and pheromones. It's a ISO IMO certified company, GMO certified the products, and the laboratories are DSR recognized. And more details you can get in this website. This company has started the venture of bio-input business from 2020 2000 onwards by establishing a multiplex biotech private limited laboratory in Bangalore. Now, what is the need for the private industry in biopesticide business? So, considering this, the company has identified the challenges, how to scale up the production and commercialize, how to do market expansion and do education about the biopesticides. What are the misconception is there, how to overcome those misconceptions about biopesticides, how to develop a strong supply chain of biopesticide, and then R&D investment and innovation and regulatory harmonization. Now, these are the factors actually identified for commercialization of a biopesticide, that is starting from selecting an economically important pest or disease which has a large stable market size, could get a virulent isolate, followed by economic production method, a good formulation, a good in-house facility for process and product quality control, efficient delivery mechanism, efficient field efficacy, and at the top, farmers' acceptance and reliance on the product. So these are all the factors we have considered to develop a product to commercialize the model. Coming a good manufacturing facilities, which is very much required for the commercial success of biopesticide, and it should be in-house facility, because otherwise delivering of the quality product, it's a challenging. Now, coming to NPV production, we have a nuclear polyhedrosis virus production, which is an in vivo production process. It has been produced within the host insect. So we have standardized two viruses. One is Helicobacter NPV, one is Sporoptera NPV. We have a larval handling capacity almost 40 to 50,000 larvae per day, and production capacity almost 100 liter per day, with a load of 6 into 10 to the power of 9 PUB per LE, and we recommend 250 LE per hectare. This is the way we have reached. But question is that now NPV demand is coming down. The company's challenge is that the investment. That's the big question. Next, coming the EPN, the entomophilic nematodes. This is also one of the in vivo production process which has to be done within the host insect. So this is getting done with the Galleria larva. It is a wax moth. So we have a capacity now to handle almost 1 lakh larvae to handle per day. And the final product we can make per month only 5 to 6 metric ton. We have not gone for in vitro method of EPN production. We are still in vivo production method. Now, product specification 50,000 Ig per gram. Doses we recommend almost 10 to 12 kg per hectare. And this technology has been taken from ICR Institute during 2013. That is National Bureau of Agricultural Important Insect in Bangalore. And consequently, we have scaled off. It is in a production model and commercialized. Coming to bacterial biogens for the liquid fermentation process, where the demand is day by day is increasing, and for that you need a proper bioreactor systems. So for that, company has totally set up a pharmaceutical grade fully controlled system to enhance the quality and quantity of the bacterial products. Here we have standardized almost 5,000 liter capacity of the bioreactor, and next we are stepping towards 30,000 liter capacity of the bioreactor. Because this process is a very slow process, we need to get a confidence and then move ahead. So this is the way we are moving. And the final product production capacity, we have made almost 1 lakh liter per month, and population load we can achieve 1 into 10 to the power 11 per ml. Coming to solid substrate fermentation, the fungal biogens require solid substrate fermentation process. So we have standardized for the fungal biogens a solid substrate fermentation process on a boiled rice to carry this process under control, aseptic and controlled condition. The capacity we have achieved 1 metric ton of the solid substrate per day we can handle now. And the yield we have achieved 50 to 80 gram per kg of substrate, spore load 1 into 10 to the power 11 to 1 into 10 to the power 12 per gram with more than 90% of the viability. Coming to downstream processing, which is very important for scaling up of the biocontrol products. You need good quality control system, formulation process, then bottling system to prevent the, to overcome the contamination problem, then packaging, delivery. All the things has been placed in proper way by the company to handle a large quantity and addressing the demand in time. Coming to research and development, company considering the growing need of this industry, the R&D, because R&D backup, the company has established a 12,000 square feet carpet area of a exclusive R&D facility to strengthen biocontrol business through selection of virulent isolates, then innovative formulation, product development, and compatible technology, which can enhance the performance of the bioformulations. And they have established a different laboratory, starting from molecular laboratory also we have established, where we can store. Coming some of the recent development, what we have made to enhance the performance of the biomolecules, microemulsion formulations of TT oil and camphor oil. It is a natural plant protectant having broad spectrum fungicidal action, both preventive and curative application, and found to be highly compatible technology to enhance the field performance of bacterial bioagents against foliar diseases like powdery mildew, downy mildew, cigataka diseases of banana, where we are recommending Pseudomonas in certain situations when the disease is very severe. There, these bioagents we can't recommend, but in that kind of situation, probably we can integrate this kind of technology also without depending to the chemical pesticides. Coming to oil-based suspension formulation of Beauveria bassiana, we have developed, and here in one strategy we are trying to understand that if we increase the concentration of beauvericin, which is the metabolites of Beauveria, it enhances the performance of this formulation. And this, we are doing multi-location trial in India with the sucking pest, mainly considering the whitefly, which is a coming up problem. And the product has been, spore strength has been up to 10 to the power of 10 per ml. Doses 2 ml per liter, mortality we are obtaining more than 70 to 80% within 48 hours, where we can't rely on a chemical pesticide. They are probably this kind of product will give a better performance under field condition. Coming to a secondary plant metabolite based, as we know that glycosinolates and myrocinates are these two defensive metabolites of the plant. And we are trying to understand this based biofumigation technology, how it can help our antagonistic microbial agents in the soil system if we do a pre-sowing soil solarization. So in certain situations, when the soils are highly sick, there we sometimes we get little scared to recommend our biocontrol products also. But in that kind of situation, probably we can opt this kind of alternative molecule also, where it can enhance the biomolecules performance. Details will be available in my one of the presentations already. We have made publications, we have made it. Here I have shared the sources. Now, coming to marketing and value chain, this company is working from last 50 years for promoting agricultural inputs, and they have developed a farmer-centric business model, strong dealer distributor network across the country, and doing continuous effort in conducting farmers training, product demonstration, product branding, product availability at their doorstep. And finally, they have developed a farmers club in different districts level, giving different kind of incentives to the farmers and encouraging them in agriculture, which is nowadays very challenging. Coming to market penetration, with all this effort, we can see our market penetration with all the registered products, we can up to 450 metric ton per year with a growth rate of 9.414%. With other organic inputs also we have, where the organic manure is 9% contribution has been made in our turnover, biofertilizer 3%, biopesticide 6%, and pheromone 0.4%.
Dr. Ghosh, I would like to interrupt here. I think we are exceeding the time. I request if you
I'll
could
just 1 minute more. This is
do-
almost finished.
so that we have some time for discussion.
Yes, I'll do that. A regulatory status, only 6 molecules. We have got a permanent registration and some are under the process. The challenge experienced high cost to get registered for the bioproducts, lengthy approval process, regulatory uncertainty and complexity, and return on investment. Now, promotional. We continue to do in-house training, creating awareness, importance of biocontrol in sustainable agriculture, or different sector of the people, starting from students, religious group who are promoting the organic agriculture, Desi group. These are the that is the government has developed some input dealer they're developing. So those peoples also we take for the training purpose. Now coming to the national collaboration also we do with the different biocontrol experts and biocontrol believers on our innovative approaches to improve the biocontrol business. And finally, the international collaboration also we try to exchange our knowledge, understanding the gaps and needs required for overseas market of biopesticides. Finally, the customer satisfaction, consistent efficacy, reliability, and availability is the prime for an industry success. Then market size and realistic estimate on sales volume, continuous evaluation on profit and loss, the what happened with the natural enemies that should not happen with biopesticide, company strategy, expansion, investment, and financial risks, and at last, a rational and passionate attitude towards biopesticide molecule. No more comparison with chemicals. It's a unique technology. Let it grow in a unique manner. Thank you, all of you, for your time and attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sapan Ghosh. It was very insightful. And I think your lecture very beautifully complemented and supplemented what Dr. Ansari presented. He gave a higher picture of the companies and he also highlighted the importance of these R&D sectors, you know, like BioNima may be providing to many global the dealers or suppliers of the biopesticide. And similarly, the way you mentioned about the kind of meticulous precaution a company needs in good manufacturing practices, in terms of market penetration, and in terms of all the factors for successful commercialization and all, I think that is very good to know from the public sector point of view also, because we need to understand clearly, like what are the things which are an issue for the private sector. I mean, unless the public sector people know about that, I don't think we'll be ever finding a solution to move forward properly. But thank you so much. Very insightful lecture and all the work you have done with multiplex, especially as an example. I have opened it for discussion for some quick questions now. Yeah, Dr. Nirmal, you raised your hand. Dr. Nirmal is from Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute from Bangladesh.
Thanks, Dr. Rebecca Khetrapal, for giving me the floor. I must thank Dr. Sapan Kumar Ghosh for his very nice and informative presentation. Actually, many things was for learning for me. Actually, Dr. Sapan Ghosh has highlighted many regarding many biopesticides markets in India. I know Dr. Sapan Ghosh is an expert on beneficial predatory mite rearing. You know, and in Bangladesh, we have also started beneficial predatory mite rearing, Neosilus longispinosus, and we also got help from Dr. Sapan Ghosh. So I now want to know about the status and commercialization and field level use of predatory mite, that is beneficial predatory mites in India now at present.
Well, Dr. Nirmal Datta, way back 1998, I started my career with predatory mites for commercialization. I had patented also some technology for the mass production and how to release in the field. But sorry to say that this technology is no more in a significant manner in India now, only in academic level. And being I am a part of industry, now presently the multiplex are also not entered into the natural enemies business. So, and if you want any kind of help in Bangladesh to popularize or to mass produce to the technological help, I will be ready to extend my help to you. What I have left almost 10 years back.
So thank you. Actually, we are now mass rearing, but still have a lot of things to do, especially on formulation. Probably we will get your help.
Definitely.
So thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think you are
Dr. Ravi,
yeah.
yeah, Dr. Ravi, you are on mute.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, thanks, Dr. Nirmal, and thanks, Dr. Sopan, for very insightful discussion also. And what we have seen is the role of private sector is much more than what we can think of. That is what both Dr. Sopan and Dr. Ansari highlight. Their responsibilities, their work, their kind of engagement is of a very high level, and that we really need to capture more succinctly. I think what I could conclude from the presentations of both is we need more and more engagement of private sector in our community of practice. That is must, and we'll be in touch with all in the private sector. But for today, I would like to express my gratefulness, my thanks on behalf of me and APAARI to Dr. Ansari and Dr. Ghosh for really highlighting things which we were not knowing, and the importance of biopesticide, the rate it is growing, the way it is there with high-value crops right now, the way developing countries like India is now coming forward with 361 companies are dealing with it, and 171 actually quite actively involved in manufacturing. I think these are things, which we need to capture in the region, in Asia, where we can benefit from each other's experience. And we also are today having one of the participants from Russia. They were very keen to join, Mr. Igor. Mr. Igor, may I ask you for giving your comment or remark in 1 minute or 2 minutes, 1 minute maximum? Well, maybe he is not there right now. He had joined, and they have shown a lot of interest because Russia itself is a very big market, and they are coming up quite in a big way in biopesticide. Anyway, so with these few words, I would like to thank finally to both the eminent stalwarts of private sector biopesticide. The biopesticide per se is neither private nor public. It is a biopesticide. It is for all. Okay. And I would request Rick Roche if he has any comments before we pass on to Semi for a formal vote of thanks. Rick, if you have any comments to make, expert comment on presentations.
I think it's terrific, and you were exactly right. It emphasizes that we need to keep engaged as much as possible with the private sector to help make the ideas that may start off in the public sector have a much better chance of being widely adopted. So I think that's a key point. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, Dr. Ravi, can I take you 30 seconds?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I don't want to take any question which was asked, but I think the vital things is missing is collaboration. People try to do things themselves, which might take 10 years and they will not succeed. I have seen that one. So unless we collaborate, industry is not going to move forward. Everybody is trying to build the facility. Everybody is trying to manufacture. That's not sustainable. We have to collaborate. So more focus should be on innovation, innovative products, rather than building a manufacturing unit. Look at the multinationals. They are not stupid. They don't build the manufacturing unit, but they are paying 25, 30 billion on the innovative products. That's where basically the shift should be. And you are representing that organization, and I'm representing the World Bioproduction Forum, which main aims and objective is the linking academia and industry. We want to work with academics to bring their idea and commercialize it, rather than let them work 10 years. Those are the government funded project. I can speak on this one. It is not sustainable. We have seen millions funded by the governments. Then what? What achievement has been done? We need to collaborate. We need to wake up.
Yeah.
We need to wake up. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Ansari, for those final words. And you have given us one more topic for discussion next time, where you will be a lead speaker. We'll be contacting you on this also. How we collaborate and how we achieve the SDG 17 in the field of biopesticide. I think that's a very important point you have mentioned. Yeah, over to you, Sami. Professor Firas, you want to have some last word?
Okay, thank you. Just a final statement, if you allow for me.
Yeah, please.
Okay, in conclusion for today, I think that considering the impact of climate change on sustainability and productivity of agriculture, there is a real and urgent need to develop and manufacture biopesticide, taking into account the fact that, in my opinion, that the day will come that all the best will develop resistance to most, if not all, synthetic existence pesticide nowadays. And thank you.
Very well noted your point, and it's globally acceptable. Thank you so much. Yeah, over to you, Sami, to conclude.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi. And thank you, everyone, each one of you, for being till the end of the discussion. I understand we have exceeded 15 minutes, but I sincerely thanks from the entire APAARI family to be part of this important community of practice, which we are taking forward. And in fact, from today's event, probably each one of us has taken some or the other learning specifically from my personal opinion. I think we have set up a tone for collaboration where Dr. Ansari's final words was focusing across. So we may think across about how do we bring this important agenda item into collaborations perspective, focusing on even in the collaboration, how innovative we could be with the help of this existing platform. And with this note, I formally thanks everyone, especially with our Dr. Roche for his opening and very crisp statement to set the tone, and Dr. Ansari and Dr. Ghosh for deep diving into the technical presentation, and at the back with my entire APAARI staff and my colleagues. And a special thanks to Dr. Ravi for keeping us encouraging to be on this community of practice. Post this, we will be sharing the presentations to all of you, as well as you are always open to give your suggestions to discuss more into the upcoming community of practice. And with this, I would request all of you, if you could kindly switch on the camera so that we can take a photograph with the due permission and consent from all of you. Thank you. So we have still certain cameras to be switched on, so we take this moment. Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
We'll conclude on this, and thank you everyone for this. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Ravi, you're on mute.
Presentation by Dr. Ansari and Dr. Swapan Ghosh. It's very, very insightful.
Thank you, sir. Once
Thank you,
again.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sanullah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Dashika, please share the
Yes,
presentation.
they will share.
with-
They will share. They will
Yes,
share.
Subrato, you are always in our biopesticide family of APAARI.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. He is there also.
Yeah.
Thank you for blessing.
And our Dr. Nirmal Datta is always working very hard.
Yeah, Dr. Nirmal is with us always also.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.